there yet.
There it went. Guest destination from Joe the Farmer. Go live.
Saying this stream was deleted.
I don't know. Everybody except your YouTube, you've done something wrong. I think we're live though. You guys jump over on the comment section. Let us know if we're live. All right, Ron Kenny from Joe. I don't know what to tell you. You're live on Facebook, but you're not live on.
Well, I'm looking at YouTube, and it looks like
I keep pushing go live to your desk.
I'm live on YouTube, so it's I don't know.
We may not be able to see their comments then. That may be what's going on. All right. Well, anyway,
how's everybody doing?
How's everybody doing, y'all? Welcome to the channel.
Welcome to Technical Difficulties with Joe and Tony.
That's right. I'm Tony, and this is Joe beside me on my right. I guess everybody's right. Anyway, let's see who we got in here, man.
We got a lot of folks in here today. Thank y'all for coming in.
I've seen some people that I'm not familiar with. There's got a lot of Evan fans in here. Got a lot of Evan fans in here. So this is the point where we have to come in and you guys bear with us. We are sponsored by our good friends at TYM Tractor, and they've got a tractor giveaway. And they asked us if we could show this, and I really am proud of them for giving 2 tractors away. So you guys hang with us. We'll be right back.
Design your world with the TYM sweepstakes. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary in the U.S. with a chance to win one of 2 TYM 3515 hydrostatic tractors. Share your story of how you'd use your brand new TYM tractor on your property for a chance to win. Snap a pic or short video of your yard, field, or project. Describe how you'd use the versatile, shiny red TYM 3515 hydrostatic tractor. Register and upload it at the link provided in the video description. Want extra entries? Share on LinkedIn. Keep up with the giveaway by following TYM on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
That is so cool. I think that we got about
it's awesome
3 or 4 more weeks. I think it's like mid-September. That's when they're going to do the giveaway. I'm excited about that. Yeah, that's big.
Free tractors are the best tractors, I think.
What's that? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Free tractors are the best tractors.
So speaking of free, wait, no. Talk to your tractor. You ain't got no free tractor, but I know.
No, we work on them. So I was going to show you guys a video. So we talked the past few weeks about, the delivery of my actual tractor from TYM. I picked up a 2515, which is awesome with the backhoe, but my actual tractor from TYM showed up. So we're going to show a little video of just, something quick of it being delivered. And I'll have a video probably out later this week of the actual delivery, and then I'll have a couple of videos probably this weekend and after about actually using the machine and kind of getting familiarized with it and having some fun with it. So,
well, let me throw that first little video. This is where you actually got it, I believe.
Yep, that's when fresh on the trailer. It's not that shiny anymore.
Yeah, I've already seen the second video. I can grant you. I can.
Yeah,
we'll show you that in just a second. That's a cool trailer, man. I like that.
It is nice. Yeah, it was on the back of an F350 too, which is like, super easy to pull, but nice looking machine.
It really is. It's pretty.
So that's a 5520. It's a legacy Branson model. So really, I guess both of the machines I have are legacy Branson models, but that TYM engine, I mean, again, listen, y'all, like I know, like we're sponsored by TYM, and sponsored means that they let me use the machine, right? Like they didn't buy my soul. But I will say that the sound of that engine is just so pure. It's like a pure diesel. It's hard to explain until you really hear one.
There is a legacy, like way back in the day before TYM bought them out, they were called Coupe J's, and Coupe J they made some smaller diesel engines for Cummins for years. So when the first time I heard a TYM engine run, so I got a deep mechanical background. I'm like, God, that sounds like a little Cummins. And then I had no idea at that time that they had worked together. So they definitely learned a lot from Cummins, and that's why you just don't hear about anybody having an engine failure. I mean, I'm sure there is one, but you just don't. It's like so rare. So can I show
they say they run hot. They say they run a little bit hot. So they
have to, but it's not running hot. It's running within parameters, but That's how they don't deal with. They don't need DEF.
Right.
And also, I've 400 and something hours on almost 500 hours on my 474, and I've never went through regeneration yet. So I mean, but I run it wide open almost all the time, you know, because I'm that kind of guy. Can I show the other part now?
Yeah.
I think these guys get a hoot out of this. Hey, and we are getting back to your comments. I promise you, we're going to come back to your comments.
Yeah, long story short, that's how you wash the tractor. But you know, I just thought that was kind of cool, and we can stop it now. It's getting loud.
That was
anyway. Yeah,
that
we're gonna
technical difficulties as well.
Oh, it's all good. Anyway, we're gonna use the machine. We're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna take it to the limit and have some fun with it. So I do see in the comment section a lot of folks are dying to see Evan. Yep. And I actually have a picture of all of us together with BFF number 3, because I'm pretty sure Evan's jumping into BFF number 2 at this point.
I'm pretty sure. Let me see here. Yeah. Where's that picture? Did I even upload that picture? Joe, I let you down, man.
It's okay.
I got it right here. I can do it.
See, Wheeler Farms here, Money Pit Homestead, Lower Vera, Peaks Peak. Lucas is here. Thank y'all for coming back and spending the evening. Once again, this is gonna be like a fireside chat.
Dude, man, I let you down. I know I went to upload that and I didn't. I apologize.
Okay. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm under pressure now and I can't find it.
It's okay. Hey, we went live and that's a start. So
yeah, well, I mean, you did have technical difficulties at the beginning. Kind of threw us off our game. But
right. Listen,
we're talking about
Nathan from Out of the Woods is here.
Is he? Outstanding. He just got him a new baler today. I seen the picture of that. I know I'm excited and jealous of him. But we've got a big crowd here that's here for Evan, and I want to go ahead and bring him on, and let's get to talking to him. But I got a little clip that I got him to make up, and I spiced it up, so he don't know about this, but let's show it to him.
Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So what are you going to see when you come to Country View Acres? Well, one thing is you're going to see a lot of tractor work. And there's always a possibility that you could see some type of video that has to do with raising your own food. And there's always lots of projects to do around here, whether it's installing new fence, clearing land, installing solar. There's always lots to do around here. So if you want to see a mixture of country life, homesteading, and farming, come check out Country View Acres. We'd love to see you.
Welcome, Evan.
What's up, guys?
So I am so proud that you're here. Mainly because you know I told you earlier I want to talk about me.
Oh, gosh. Settle back for the Tony Show.
We are starting our own homestead here, and we're baby homesteaders. You know, we're really at the first throes of homesteading where we're just clearing a pasture now. And I can't throughout this I'm going to pick your brain about all kind of things as far as what animals we should get and your bumps and bruises and things you wished you had known. So I'm sure everybody will want to ask some questions. A lot of people here are homesteaders, and so we have got a ton of people here. And I think Joe, you got some stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that more than anything, I'm excited to have Evan here, and I had a couple things that we're going to run through. But number one question is, do you have any nonsense facts this week?
Yes,
nonsense facts.
Okay. So Evan, you have not been privileged yet enough, Evan, to hear. We got past the dad jokes, which is good. And they weren't even not even dad jokes. But you know, Tony has a bunch of. We want to share a nonsense fact.
Well, we really need to right now. I just found this to be pretty interesting, but it's useless information. Octopus have 3 hearts, 2 pump blood to the gills, and 1 pumps to the rest of the body. I mean,
so you know that now, Evan. Do you
I know that I can go to bed and just I'm smarter. I am much more knowledgeable now than I was when we started this live.
Wow,
I'm so happy I did that for you, Evan.
From Brazil.
We have got people from all over the place. There's my buddy Kevin. He's up there, and Bigelow Woodcraft. Well, I got into the sawmill again today. And there's our buddy Out of the Woods.
Yep.
Yeah. There's old Nathan there.
Yeah, Nathan's becoming a farmer now with all the hay.
Yeah, he's not doing sawmill.
Yeah.
TJ, how you doing, brother?
CJ's vouching for you, Evan. I don't know. He's got to earn that, CJ. We're still kind of early in the show here.
Yeah. My goodness.
So man, you've been doing a lot of hay, Evan.
Yes, and it never stops. It seems like, because I've got this whole front field full of sorghum Sudan grass that I could turn into silage, and that's becoming very, very. I don't know. It's a big job. I'm learning how to do it. So
talk us through that though. I mean, what is it? What is it in silage? I mean, what does it take to do it?
So if you don't know what silage is, the basic thing is you have like a moist forage, and then you put it in an oxygen-free environment, right? So there's like low oxygen, no oxygen, and then it does a fermentation process, and it ferments it, and that improves the feed quality, and it allows you to store it pretty much long-term, in that oxygen-free environment. And to do that on our scale, you basically take a wet hay bale and you wrap it with silage wrap to keep it oxygen free. And the problem is they're very heavy bales. They're way heavier than what you normally handle.
So is there any like specific, are you doing grass, or is it? I mean, I've seen them make silage out of like corn.
Well, I'm using sorghum Sudan grass, which is very similar to corn. I mean, this stuff's like 5 foot tall, and
I just learned
it's very similar to that. And I think the benefit to that is it's big. You get a huge amount of forage, and since it's big, it stays wet longer. You have like a longer work time with it to be able to get it baled up. So if you take like alfalfa and you want to turn that into silage, I think you only have to let it dry for like a couple hours, and then you're baling it up.
What's the reasoning by why bale it wet? Because with hay, you're going just the opposite. You want it to be just as dry as possible.
Well, the problem is with this stuff is it would be hard to dry it. It's so thick.
So it's not about fermentation or anything like that. I really don't know.
Fermentation does. I think it helps the feed quality and improves it. I think it improves the digestibility of it.
It's like kombucha for cows, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yes.
Like they run around drunk in the cow field.
It's good bacteria in their stomachs.
Yep.
Now they do look like big marshmallows though when you wrap them.
They do. Yeah.
Massive marshmallows.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of them. That's interesting. I've always been fascinated with hay, hay production, and we just don't have enough ground to do. I mean, I might at some point I might get into one of those little small things, but it'll be more of a hobby than what you do. We just don't have enough land for it. Almost all of our land is woods.
Yeah, you clearing pasture is a lot of work, considering you have so many trees.
I mean, every stump. I mean, this place was just full of stumps, and
it'd take you 20 years to make that, solid pasture without any stumps or anything in it. It'd be
maybe for the average guy, but not the guy with a stump grinder. I went through like, listen.
Yeah, as long as you got the right equipment.
we ripped up about 6 big stumps a day. There's no stumps there anymore.
Is there video coming on it? You want to plug that real quick?
There is video. Okay. Nice. And I almost dropped a tree on my tractor. No kidding. That happened today. I thought about showing that. I was like, because it's one of them deals where the tree was hollow and it fell totally
snapped on you?
Totally different than I thought it was going to, and it come within inches of hitting the tractor.
Yeah, that's scary.
I always welcome my nephew in. Welcome, nephew.
What's that, William?
Dalton. He goes with Dalton.
Oh, sorry, Dalton. But your sister's in here too. Did you not see her?
I did not see her.
Debbie's in here. Hello,
there's
Debbie.
319 people in here, and the comments are going so fast I can't push I can't see them.
Well, we appreciate y'all joining us tonight.
Yeah, I really do. This is awesome, and I do appreciate it more than you know. So let's get back to Evan.
Yep.
I got to figure out how to turn these buttons off. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, I've got this whole field up here that I planted, and more than what the livestock can eat. So I've got a bunch of extra, and so I'm trying to just not let go to waste. So I'm trying to turn it into silage. I've never done it before. It's definitely a learning curve. So today was one of those learning days where things don't go real smooth all the time. So I think next time it'll go smoother. So
I do love that on your channel. You do show the tough times.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when your
I
baler
do like
breaks and
that.
you're out there with a sledgehammer and a torch.
Yeah, I think I got most
Right.
of them on camera today when I had all my problems. I did almost cause a fire in the microwave today, and I didn't get that on camera. But
Elaborate,
and
please.
Rebecca was complaining that the microwave stunk when she got home from work today. So it smells like smoke in there. So there's a moisture test you can do where you take like your forage and you put it in the microwave, you weigh it and you put it in the microwave and you microwave it till it doesn't lose any weight, right? So it's completely dry, and then you weigh it again and you can just divide it by the previous weight. You know your percentage of dry matter and how moist it is, your percentage of wetness. So I was doing that, and needless to say, I think my microwave is more powerful than what they suggest the time you use is, and I got it to where it was smoldering when it came out of the microwave. So
That's
almost burned the cabin down.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Got somebody in here from Argentina.
Well, we had Brazil earlier too.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Man, you tell them Evan's coming on, and we're
My goodness, you got some followers, brother.
yeah. Our friends from 2911 Homestead said Evan shows the tough times and still always stays calm. He really does stay calm, and that's.
I've learned that through YouTube. It has taught me to be. It's taught me to be calm. When you know you're on camera, you it teaches you to kind of.
It's a family show.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it teaches you self-control, and then I think that goes past the camera too. You know, I mean, it kind of teaches you self-control in other ways, but yeah, when you go back and you see yourself like on camera,
editing,
you're like, you
got a question
throwing a fit or something. You're just like, oh my God, like it's just terrible, right? So, yeah, that's my sister right there. Right. Did you know that? That's my yeah.
Hello, sister. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer.
Yeah, I have not started her library. I'm sitting right where the library is supposed to go. So I'm up here.
This is the live. This is the the live space. This is where this is the moneymaker space for Evan.
Right.
Yeah. Evan, it's funny you say that because there's been times when I've gone back and edited and looked and I was like, man, what am I carrying on like that? And you kind of have to take that step back when things go wrong. You're like, man, it's a privilege to do this stuff. I need to remember that sometimes. So reminding ourselves that's a good thing. Aussies are in the house. Yeah, we are global.
Canadian, got a lot of people all over the place.
Denmark. Stan Anderson's from Denmark.
I missed that one. Oh, got it right here. I'll throw that up there.
Even New York, that's a foreign country these days, right?
Right.
Oh, that's New York State, not New York City. Okay.
Gotcha.
Just kidding.
All right. Well, let me tell you, we were talking earlier and just kind of get you primed a little bit. So we are starting our homestead, and when you agreed to come on to this live, I'm telling you, I was excited because I was talking with Troy last week, and he really got me thinking about pigs. I was kind of dead set on goats, and he's like, no, do pigs. And then I talked to you just a little bit earlier, and you kind of led me towards that same thing. So yeah. So we've got a lot of people in here that are homesteaders, and probably a lot of us are first-time homesteaders, like myself. I grew up on a farm, but when we did mass production hogs, 5,000 head, that's not even closely remotely do the same thing. Talk us through. Well, first off, let me ask you a question. When you first started homesteading, what was like? Do you got any bumps and bruises, things you wished you had known before you started? What's your biggest mistake?
I don't know. We've learned everything along the way, right? I mean, it's all been, I guess, an adventure, and you're always, I don't know, you almost have to make your own mistakes to learn from them, it seems like, right? And so, I mean, I don't know if there's anything I necessarily would say that I would have changed. I guess it's all good experience in the end, but the pigs, I definitely, that's one of the things I would suggest to somebody to be the first thing that they raise. I mean, as long as they like pork, right? They like bacon.
Right.
I mean, who doesn't like
I was going to say the worst case scenario, it turns into bacon, and that's
So you had me at bacon, really. I mean,
yeah. Right. So I think they're one of the easiest ones to be able to raise, and I really suggest people getting feeder animals myself. Just go out, get you some feeder animals. You learn to raise them. They go away in a few months, and then you're not committed to something. either.
So what
right?
about like we've got 5 acres, and right now it's very unimproved pasture.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, it's going to be tomorrow. We're literally tilling and putting deer food plot down through there because this year we're not going to do anything. We're
Yeah.
pretty much, our goal is for next year
Yeah.
to have a like a shelter, and we're probably gonna. What I'm thinking is like electric fence. Maybe two or three strands of electric fence, and then that way I can move it around and have the animals help me clean. Because right now, we're doing it all ourselves, and it's hard to keep up with because what I've already cleaned once, I'm having to come back and clean again.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Mother Nature just, it keeps on coming back.
Never quits.
And that's the thing with property in itself. Any acreage you have, once you clean it, now you've just gave yourself like a bi-weekly chore. You got to keep it trimmed
keep
up.
mowing it.
Yeah. So I will say, like, when we originally, our first animals were goats, and you're talking about getting goats, and we fenced in our little barnyard, and then we kind of made started fencing in a pasture area for them. And like, we could never get our goats to eat pasture grass. Like, they would rather sit in a barn and just eat hay all day long. Like, they would never get out. They would rather browse. They'd rather be in the trees and go eat weeds.
I can accommodate that.
So, I mean,
a lot of trees.
If you're wanting to get goats, I wouldn't even go to the trouble of making pasture. You might just clear.
Well, there's all kinds
for your electric fence or for your fencing.
The pasture has dual purpose. It's also a deer viewing lane. Got you. So there, and where I'm at, I don't have hardly any open areas.
We're protecting the food plots.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Making sure that nothing attacks the food plots, because if they do, we have to protect them.
Once I do this, obviously that I'll have to have a little set aside, and but pretty much all of we're almost all woods, and so now we're gonna have that 5 acres down there. So if I do pigs, what do I need to do as far as 5 acres? Is that enough, or how many pigs can I do on 5 acres?
Well, I've raised as many as 4. This is the most we've ever done, and we keep them in a half an acre of trees, and they still don't tear up that. I mean, we've typically raised 3 most of the time, but a half acre is plenty of space as long as it's like wooded and stuff like that. We've had pigs before, and it depends on what color of pigs you get, but we've had lighter pigs before. If they're like out in a pasture area, they'll get like sunburnt and their skin gets blistered, and it looks like they've been tortured. And I really, they want to stay cool. They need to be in the shade.
So let me tell you what our land's going to be like. So it's going to be primarily flat, but at the base of the hill, we're going to go all the way to the base of the hill, and we're going to it goes into, at the base of the hill, there's a live spring, and so they're going to have like a muck pit if they want it. And we because it's the live spring year round. I don't care what time of year, we will never have to bring water ever. So that's a beautiful thing. And that
muck pit, that just keep in mind, if you let the pigs like have that as a muck pit, I'm just gonna
throw it out there.
I don't know. Yeah. So they'll cover themselves in mud, and then they go lay somewhere, right? So they slowly transfer out that pit, and it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger. And in fact,
I get a pond and everything.
Yeah. So I've got a pond, right? And in the woods to the south of it, there's this other little pond, and I always thought of it as a sediment pond, where the water kind of comes in, hits it first, overflows into our pond. Well, I found out like earlier this year, that's actually an old hog wallow, is what it is. It's not a pond; it's just a big hole.
They made it a pond,
and it's a big hole. And so because they used to raise pigs on this property. This was a hog farm,
right? So if we do 4, though, it's something I probably can control.
Oh yeah, but I was saying,
if not,
they're gonna permanently change it. Is what I'm saying. So over the course of years, you may end up with a bigger spot.
Yeah.
So,
and don't drink the water, right? Just saying.
No.
So we've got a question from Lucas. Wants to know, how many flocks of meat birds do you usually raise a year?
Well, we got two groups this year, and I think ideally we would do about 50 birds, one per week. That's typically what we do. When you raise a meat bird, we typically just freeze the whole bird, and then Rebecca will take that and she will Instapot it, and we shred that chicken every week, and then we use it in meals and sandwiches and all types of things, and it ends up going into several meals. But Rebecca is very consistent on, she cooks like one whole chicken every week, and that's kind of what we shoot for, is somewhere around 50, and you throw a couple turkeys in there and some other things, and that gets you 52 weeks of white meat for the year.
So you say that. I've got 3 kids that are all just about teenagers. I'm thinking to myself, how many meat birds do I need to cook a week? And we'd have to have probably a lot of meat birds going down there.
11.
Yeah. 12.
Yeah.
A dozen. Yeah. There's groceries go down.
You got another question there. They want to know about your pond.
So I don't know if I know if we still have catfish or not. I can't remember if I put any more in or not, but it's bass, bluegill. There might be some red ear in there. Possibly. I put them in once years ago. And there's crappie in there. It's 3.5 acres. There's grass carp in there as well. And right about the time where we had everything kind of balanced about right, that's when we had the big kill off. And we're still kind of recovering from all of that right now. So we haven't caught anything big. The carp are huge. Like I saw one today. I bet you it looked like its body was like that big around. I mean, it was just
Is that the one that, like, when you go down the river, they'll jump out in the boat and knock you out of the boat?
I think it's the same kind of family, I guess.
Yeah,
these aren't Asian carps, but
no, oh man,
we're here at on Kentucky Lake, and that's literally an issue now, where you like go down with your bass boat doing 40 miles an hour down through there, and a big fish jumps out and spears you in the gut. So it's crazy.
Those Asian carp, I mean, they can get to be 50, 60 pounds.
We had to knock people out of the boat.
Yeah, our pond turned over probably about, I can't remember what year it was. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. And it was just the perfect storm. Like, we have aeration like you do in our pond, and aerators died, the pump died, and then we had a massive heat wave, and then all of a sudden we have a thunderstorm with a bunch of cold water, which all those things together, and the algae was killed off shortly before then. So it's like massive oxygen plummet, everything dies. Well, it was all pretty much bluegill that died, but we had one Asian carp, and I'm telling you guys, like, I'm not a small man, and I'm carrying this thing with both arms, and it smelled great.
I bet it did.
I mean, we had those blue like tubs full of fish. We probably, I know it was 4th of July weekend, but I mean, we took so many dead fish out of there, and I just kept throwing them in fields. And we had the nicest fields for the longest time, but my gosh, it was rough. We didn't eat seafood for a very long time after that.
Yeah, when our pond died, dead fish, all thousands of dead fish everywhere, and we didn't pick them up, and it went from like having these nice ducks and everything all floating around and wildlife and geese, and then it went to like buzzards and like all of these wild animals coming around eating the all of the fish. But Mother Nature cleans it up. I mean, it's surprisingly, after the fish kill off, like all the fish were gone in a couple weeks, and Mother Nature took care of it.
Yeah, it gets real oily though. Like, that's the part that was, I don't know, it's hard. It's come get the snapping turtles out of Kevin's pond. Yeah, the snapping turtles usually are a little bit of prep for deer viewing season.
Right. Just make sure make sure your freedom pills are flying straight.
And that's exactly right. Just to make sure, because they're.
Evan, you got one more question there.
No, I have a video out there where I tried collecting the duckweed off of the pond, and where I pumped it out with a skimmer and collected it. I had like a couple tractor buckets full. I tried feeding it to the pigs. I know everybody's like, "Oh, this is supposed to be like a superfood, right?" That's this duckweed, and everybody tries to sell me on the fact that you should try to feed that. Well, the only animal that would try to eat it was the pigs. But yeah, they're not going to just sit there and eat on it. I mean, it didn't work out as anything I could really feed to any of the animals, at least in my case. Yeah, I'm not sure how you would be able to feed it. I don't know if you'd have to dry it somehow or what. But I mean, that's a lot of work and effort.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Pigs don't want superfood. Pigs will eat just about, they want restaurant slops what they want, not superfoods.
Right. Yeah. They like all the hamburger buns and stuff I gave them this
Right.
morning, and all the apples and stuff I gave them the other day. Yeah.
Right.
Also, Troy was telling us last week that somebody brought in like a truckload of old Krispy Kreme donuts to feed their pigs. It was like glazed pork.
Mhm.
Glazed pork.
Yeah, I saw that on the live stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me do one more quick useless information, and I think Joe's got some questions for you, but I got to come back to you after Joe gets through with his questions, because I really do got some questions about this homestead and stuff, and I want to pick your brain.
We have some questions in the comments too. We can't forget our friends over here in the comments.
Oh yeah, this is a little overwhelming. We've got comments going by like it's almost blowing my hat off. They're going by so fast.
That's what happens when you bring a celebrity on, man.
I know like, he's definitely a celebrity. That's
Elvis is in the building, man. That's what it is.
All right, here's my useless information for the day. The average person will spend 6 months of their life waiting for red lights to turn green. That will change. That changed my life. I'm not gonna lie, that really did.
Did it change it green?
Yeah, it changed it green. That's right. Explains so much.
Fair enough.
So I'm missing the questions. I'm no kidding, guys. You guys are typing questions in, and I'm doing my best over here. So I'm an amateur live guy, and
well, here's a couple questions real quick. So Evan, and you don't have to go, just topical is fine. Evan, what kind of animals are you going to get later in the year? And Evan, any plans to finish the kitchen and bath in the pole barn?
Okay, so animals. Rebecca's right now checking into getting some bull calves. So she was looking at one that's fairly young. Then she found another one that's I think closer to 2 year old, and it was a bottle bull calf. So I don't know what the chances are, but she's checking into trying to get a bull so that we can go that route for getting our dairy cows, heifers, pregnant. So looking at that, depending on how many bales I have, we may end up getting some more feeder steers, or we may end up getting some cows, maybe some, ones that are pregnant cows, maybe.
So you said dairy? I mean, did I hear you right? You said dairy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We got a couple Jersey heifers.
I mean, are they active or?
No, they've never had calves yet, so they're not in milk, and that's a problem.
I understand how that works, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that seems like a very much a full-time job. Like you never leave home ever, kind of thing.
Right. So I mean, they have things where you can do like a calf share, where the calf takes half the milk, and then you take the other half, and then you don't have to milk twice a day. And I think we would just kind of test it out, try it out for a while, and then you could always dry them back up when the calf was big enough. We would, and see what we think of it. Because needless to say, I'll be the one doing it, probably, considering I'm here all the time now.
Right. So, yeah, you're in.
So we would like to. We always like to try everything, right? I mean, we tried about every animal, and now we try milk and dairy and making cheeses. It'll be a new experience, and got to try a little bit of everything, and then you kind of settle into the ones you like the best, right?
Right.
So
I think you guys about got me talked into the pigs, but just because I'm familiar with pigs, if you raise them from piglets, they're pretty much pets, and I'm I have no problem. I always told my little fat cat, if at times get hard, he's going to be Tazzy soup. But I'm okay with that. But anyway, Joe, you got some questions, man, and I'm sorry I cut you off again.
Well, what I wanted to do is I thought that we had a great conversation last week, and the comments, man, keep them coming. Like I think that these are actually I'm learning a lot going through this. But I thought what I would do is throw some curveballs to Evan, since you guys get to see a lot of homesteading Evan. I figured we asked him a couple questions, maybe. One or two that would just be things that don't necessarily have to do with homesteading. So what I want to know from Evan is, like, when you watch YouTube, right? Because I think that most of us that become content creators, it's because we like the platform. Like, we like what YouTube's about, right? Like, what's your non-homestead guilty pleasure channel that you watch? Like, is it?
Well,
Joe the
Wouldn't
Farmer.
say
Right?
non-homestead. I will say I do like a lot of Alaska shows.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
like a different,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a different side of homesteading when you have a lot more of the fishing and hunting and the adventure lifestyle. I
Right.
always try to tease Rebecca, like, hey, let's move to Alaska. Let's go to Alaska. And she's like, I am not going to Alaska. So, so that's kind of like my guilty pleasure there. Other than that, I do like a lot of the just people building things, you know, like any type of project, like whether it's fabricating, machining. I
You
like
watch cutting edge engineering out of Australia?
Yeah, out of Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Yep. No, there's a lot of good machining channels out there, and just like the makers and the builders and stuff out there that put stuff together. There's always neat to watch. So I'd say that's kind of my guilty pleasures in a way is that some of them Alaska shows and the
Well, it's just so much more wholesome than TV.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We watch a lot of travel stuff. Like we'll watch like Kara and Nate, they live in Nashville. So they have a travel channel where they go, and like I've never flown first class a day in my life. And you know, I don't know that I ever will, but they get to test out like all the Dubai flights, and there's a young couple kind of showing different places in the world. And I think it's kind of cool to experience the world through stuff like that. How about you, Tony? What do you watch? What's your
So really and truly outside of, you know, homesteading channels, I watch, there's a channel called Gone with the Winds, and there's a couple middle-aged that they
had a camper.
Yeah, they went around the United States and all over with an RV, and then they literally just bought a sailboat and learned how to, went and paid somebody to teach them how to sail, and they have literally went around the world now, and now they're on this new sailboat. And that's probably the one, you know, probably the oddball you wouldn't look at me and think I watch. But then the other one that I watch is a couple of machining channels, and you know, Curtis from what is it? I just told you the name of the channel. Cutting Edge Engineering out of Australia. I love that dude. He's talented, and I'm fascinated with machinery. And other than that, you know, I watch you guys. I really do. I watch probably, you know, Hank, Evan, you know, Joe the Farmer. Watch some Joe the Farmer, and then I was watching.
We'll take the support. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. I was watching some. Let's see, who was I watching?
I've been watching Lucas here lately.
Yeah, I was going to say I just watched some sawmill stuff from Lucas today. Literally, I called him up and talked to him about his sawmill and his. I'm building my my sawmill shed right now, and I started looking at his sawmill shed. I was like, wow, I kind of suck because his is pretty awesome.
Lucas has a great. I've actually sent Lucas an email before and told him, you know, like, Lucas, you have such a great channel. He's so great on camera. Like it's a really great camera or a great channel. If you all haven't checked out Peaks Peak Homestead, it's a great channel.
I think he's
Evan, he thinks that you and I could be brothers, Evan. He said, "Is it me or does Joe and Evan? You spelled Evan wrong. Evan look like he could be Joe's brother. Maybe we are brothers and we just haven't told you all."
Yeah, well, if we stood next to each other, you wouldn't think so, because like Joe's like a foot taller than I am. Like I'm dwarfed next to him. So
yeah.
I'm a little bit over 5'9".
Yeah, it's a little bit over 5'9". What are you, 6'5"?
No,
you are
6'8".
So Lucas is going to be on our live stream coming up probably going to be in September. It looks like. I think we got a spot.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and, you know, not to take it away from Evan, but Evan, you may care about this too, because I think that you enjoy the gamekeeping element of things. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to have some like a gamekeeping series. We're going to have George Cummins from Buck Bourbon is going to come on the 27th. And then we have Mike Lindell from Domain Outdoors, which is a food plot seed. There's so much more than that, though. It's not like there's so many seed companies. It gets exhausting about these blends and everything, but they really seem to have nailed the social media side of entertainment, where you're learning, where you're doing soil amendments. Like it's just very turnkey. I think they do a really good job, and I'm just fascinated to kind of hear what their take is on, because food plots have just taken over, especially with CWD being a problem in a lot of the country. Whatever, we're not going to get into that political conversation, but you can't feed. Like a lot of people can't have feeders. They can't have mineral blocks in a lot of states, but you can still have food plots. So food plotting is exploding all over the country. So it's a good time to be in that business, I think. I'm letting grass turn into a solar farm. Uh-oh.
My goodness. I got some of the was it buck bourbon? I got some of that today.
It works great, man. It's Evan, what do you do do you do any kind of food plottery, or do you is this
got a
kind
hayfield?
of
Yeah. It had a lot of alfalfa in it at one point in time, and that brought in the deer. But yeah, that's what we hunt over, is just the hayfield. So
you probably got a lot of clover in the hay, though, right?
I'm trying to get some in that one. The other field has definitely got clover in it for sure. Yeah.
My channel is Tony's Tractor Adventure, and then in the top right corner, that's Joe, and it's Joe the Farmer. And then I think most people are here to see Evan, and everybody knows he's Country View Acres.
Matter of fact, Joe the Farmer tonight is going to be doing a giveaway because a very special person has helped me do some hats. And again, I've said before, I have a massive head, and you guys could,
big old melon,
take shots as you want to. But Tony's sister, Debbie, Eagle Tree, what is it?
Eagle Tree Embroidery.
Want to make sure I got that right. But she's done some hats for me. So I'm tonight going to give away some hats. So I've got 4 different options that if somebody wins, we'll go through. Maybe we'll give away 2 hats.
2 hats. We can do that.
Santa Joe the Farmer is feeling pretty generous tonight, so we'll send some hats out.
I put in Joe the Farmer. Let's see, that is the 6th time I've done it, so I'm going to win.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Also, I didn't know what you're doing over there. So
no, I was trying to prod you. I was hoping you see hashtag Joe the Farmer. So if I just put it up there on the board there, Joe the Farmer, hashtag Joe the Farmer. If you type in hashtag Joe the Farmer, you are entered. I've got the streaming tool up, the giveaway tool, and at the end of this, we'll bring that up and show who wins.
I sure would like if someone wins if they subscribe to our channel, though, which it's free. It's just
yep.
Sure, wouldn't mind a little support. But Susan Dixon watches Kara and Nate too. Yeah, it's just a great channel. It's family friendly. Like everything we watch is family friendly. We're not into the
all of our channels are family friendly. You're not gonna yeah. And like you said earlier, Evan, about what being behind the camera makes you grow. So like I smashed. I mean, I whooped on that finger with a sledgehammer, and the camera's looking at me, and I'm like, and I did throw the hammer though. I did. But I did it with a calmness.
Yeah.
Okay. No, the calmness was not there, but I didn't say anything bad, and it was like
inside. It was toned down from what was on the inside.
Yeah. Now, if you want to be entered for the hat giveaway, you have to type in hashtag Joe the Farmer.
Nobody wants the hat apparently, unless I haven't scrolled down. Never mind.
Okay, oh yeah, there's a bunch of people. Man, they're going.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, show them some of the hats, man. Did you show them?
All right. I mean, since you asked, I mean, here's one. Debbie did this, and again, it's
Debbie's my sister, by the way.
Debbie's Tony's sister.
Is absolutely a perfectionist when it comes to embroidery. She does a lot of embroidery works for the reservations out west. So she does like all the police departments and the fire departments and the city workers and stuff like that. So nothing leaves her desk unless it's perfect. I mean, it's actually comical.
Yeah, she's just a great human being, and it's nice to help a small business. But yeah, when our families got together and we talked about starting a YouTube channel again, I've said this before. I'm not going to get into it. Really, we just started as like a family yearbook, right? Like a family video diary. And the very first thing my daughter Betsy asked me was, "Are we going to have merch?" And I was like, Betsy, who's going to buy merch with anything that we put on there? So I still think it's ridiculous to have merch. So I'm not going to be selling these. Really, these are going to go to people who support the channel, who have been with us since the beginning. And if people like the videos and we see a lot of comments and I keep seeing a lot of activity, I'm just going to reach out to you and say, hey, I'd love to send you a hat, because I just think it's kind. Like we appreciate the support. But this is a black one. Black is my favorite color, in case you guys haven't noticed. Probably from my musician background, where everyone on any kind of stage is black, but also when I'm on the farm, I feel like if I wore a big loud shirt, it takes away from the farm, right? The farm is what's beautiful. I'm kind of the host. The farm is the star. So anyway, black, my favorite color. Joe the Farmer hat. Now these are limited. I only have a couple of these, but you can pick one, whichever one you want to pick. So there's a black one, the gray one I'm wearing right now. Here's a gray one, but this one has, look at that.
Oh, that's sweet.
Red, white, and blue, stars and bars on it. Like we're big into camo. We're big into anything patriotic or anything red, white, and blue. So got that one, which I'll send you. Or boom, something for the deer
I like
watching
that.
season.
I like
so
that. I like
anyway.
that a lot. So if you're Joe's friend, if you're a really close friend like I am with Joe, then you have to buy your own sticker.
Yeah, we sold a sticker. You look at us. We have a shop on our YouTube page. If you guys are interested, we have T-shirts and I think a coffee mug and a couple other things, which Holly, my wife, worked really hard to do. So, any money we make, we put back in the channel. So it's not like we're buying Escalades with rims or anything. So, yeah.
Maybe Escalade with rims, man. So, you got any more questions? I got a question for Evan.
No, you go for it.
So
I have questions for Evan, but you go for it.
All right. How did you start your channel? Did you purposely like figure out one day that, hey, I want to do this. I want to make a channel, or was it an accident?
No, I mean, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, right? And I always try to do new things, try new things. And every time I wanted to do something, I'd look it up on YouTube and I'd learn how to do it, or I'd see how other people built something. And so it kind of started out as me sharing what I was doing to just kind of give back, I guess, right? To just kind of add to the community. And I did that as a hobby. I mean, even when we moved out here, I just sharing what we did. When we built our house, I just shared it. I wasn't monetized. I just did it as a hobby until about the very beginning of 2019, I think. And then when I decided to take it seriously and actually do it. But it was just kind of started out as a hobby, something I did on the side. There for several years, I never even got in front of the camera. I always hid behind it, right? I was afraid somebody'd see you and recognize you and, give you crap about it or something.
I think we all go through that, except Joe.
Yeah.
Joe likes
he's a natural.
I don't have the sense to be shy. That's
well, you were a musician for how many years in front of thousands of people? So it's not like it's
a long time.
Yeah, it's just pretty awesome.
343 years ago.
343 years ago. I love it.
So Evan, how did Rebecca, when you said you wanted to start a YouTube channel, was she right away like on board with it? Like, yes, let's do this, or was she like, what are you, crazy?
I don't think she said too much. I think I just said I was gonna do this and share it on there, and I don't know. She didn't really say too much about it because it was just kind of, a 3-minute video here. I mean, back then it was real short videos,
Right.
Yeah. And then it kind of, as I did it more, I think, it just kind of came second nature and she became used to it. So
kind of like breathing, right? So I had a question, and because I'm becoming senile, I forgot what it was. So hook me up, man. Take over.
So one of the earlier questions, somebody asked if I was planning on working on the kitchen out in the pole barn, and
I've seen that one.
So we got a room set aside, and it shrunk a little bit because we've kind of put our solar out there in that room. But one day
I want to talk about that too.
We will try to get that room done, but that's going to be an expense, I mean, to get that walls all finished and the ceiling, but we've got several pieces of equipment to put out there, and stainless steel tables. I got this old Butcher Boy meat saw that from the 50s or 60s or something, like needs refinished and everything. It's like a classic, I guess. Like people pay thousands of dollars for these things.
Right.
And but there'd be a ton of work to get it all set up so that we can process food and animals out there. And it's not going to be this year, so it'll be down the road.
I didn't have a question for you. What I was going to say is, and I've said this I guess I've said this to every one of my guests on the channel except Joe, is that, man, you're very genuine. I think that's why you do so well. You just, when you watch your videos, and I've met Evan in person. We've met several times. I guess several times, or at least one. I don't know if several times, but I've talked to you on the phone a lot. So I guess feels like I've known you a long time now. Yep. And he's always just who he is. Is what you see on the on video is what you get when in real life. And just picking on Joe, he's the same exact way.
I don't have feelings. It's okay. And before I went into the TYM agreement, because I mean, here's the thing, like we're not a huge channel, and something like that could be really great, or it could also be really, really detrimental. And Evan and I had a great conversation about that. And Evan's real. I mean, I think you're right. Very approachable, like honest, like you're getting what you get with Evan.
Thank you. My wife says that I'm like well, she says I'm like the most honest person she knows, but I think it's to a fault in a way too. I think she thinks so.
Oh, that's a good thing, man.
Am I drinking again? Well, I don't drink.
Hey, I'm gonna walk away and get a different light. I'll be right back.
All right, we're gonna talk about you while you're going, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, he was actually super helpful when it came to all that. And again, you all, I met Evan for the first time. I guess it was probably February at the National Farm Machinery Show, and man, he just super nice. Like, came fast friends, gave me his phone number. Like I've asked him for advice on YouTube and kind of growing a channel and how to do authentically. And I know there's a lot of people here that have been enjoying Evan's and Rebecca's content, and I know why. And same here. Like, I've been watching him for a long time.
I absolutely love to watch his stuff, and he's he's back. Sorry, I was looking at this.
I don't have like a fancy live stream studio like all set up. Look, I am set up here with a camping lantern so that you guys can see.
See what talking about? How real is that? Here, I got my little.
I just don't have a.
I can make this great, man.
So I'm gonna have some lines on my face. It looks like from the. You know how those cheap LED lights are? They make little lines in videos.
Yeah, I see it. It'd be all right though.
Yeah. It looks like you're watching television.
So I want to share the screen with you guys real quick. Let's see here. We have, it looks like 34 people entered for the hats. And I noticed that some people typed in Joe the Farmer, and they typed in hashtag and then space Joe and then space the and then space farmer. That won't get it done. You need to type in hashtag Joe the Farmer, all one word, all lowercase. I don't know if the uppercase will matter or not, but if you want to be sure to be put in for those hats, you might hashtag Joe the Farmer.
Yeah, Scott, this is my grandfather's flag that was over his casket when he passed away. My grandmother gave it to me before she passed away. So
that's
yes,
cool,
it's
just like this right here. That's what to be selected. You got to put it in just like Sabine River Valley. Is that how you say it? Sabine.
Huh? Sabine.
That's what I said. Then I'm gonna call that good enough.
Hey, so I have something for show and tell, which Evan may be interested in.
All right, lay it on us.
Does everybody like show and tell?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it depends. Within reason. Family channel, man.
It's a family channel. This is not the OnlyFans. This is like it's for something that we've all have experience with. TYM 2515. So, what's the number one complaint people have about a TYM 2515?
Oh yeah, I know what you're going. I know where you're going at. I can tell you right off the bat.
Evan, what do you think? Actually, let's ask in anybody in the comments that has a 2515. I know.
Man, the back.
It's on the back. All right, so Gary, I'm not Joe TWH Farmer. You got to correct that, or else we want you to be in there.
Oh yeah.
All right, so check this out. So when we had our buddy Jake from ITC Quick Attach, we were talking to him about the 2515 backhoe, and I'm a larger human being, and I don't fit on the thing. So he actually went and fabricated this thing. I just got this in the mail today, and this is going to be he did it in black, and I asked him to powder coat it in red so that when I do this in a video, you can actually see the parts that he's made. And this is supposed to make the backhoe seat go up and back. So if you have that and you're cramped and you're like, man, this is ridiculous. Like, how am I supposed to operate this thing? This is already on his website, but I'm going to do a video on installing this probably this weekend, and I'll put that out there. And if you want to see just how it works, but I don't think it's be a lot of money. And it's really cool that a small business is going to create something that fixes something that a big business, maybe overthought. But it's not TYM's fault. They bought Branson. It's a Branson problem, and
they own it.
Yeah, I mean,
tag you're it. But that's
right.
I do know that in the future, the future models, they will, TYM has fixed that issue because the seats just weigh. It's entirely too. I always make the joke that
how many did they sell though?
You're like running the back
thousands
like
of those things.
Yeah,
there's got to be thousands of those things out there.
Oh yeah, there's thousands of those out there, and they've already built thousands of them that are on their way, through the process. So
right,
when you see an issue, it doesn't just change that day. I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into moving parts to fix something, and so they bought the company Branson out, and it was a good company to begin with, made good tractors, loved them. Um,
Well, this, I
and
mean, this
it was
looks,
just it's a game changer.
well, and the fit and finish on it. I mean, for this to be his first attempt, they're selling him now. They're under $200. So, I mean, to have, you know, I know that TOM's talked with Grammer, who's a seat manufacturer, and I actually talked to Grammer at the Equip Expo in Louisville, and I mean, they make amazing seats. My Ventrac has a Grammer seat on there, and but those seats are $800 to $1,000. I mean, you know, they're expensive seats. So to have an upgrade for under $200, I mean, we'll see how it works. Y'all come by.
Pretty much,
check out
no
the
matter
video,
what seats you put on there, it was still going to have some sort of bracket to move it back. You know,
right.
Yeah, because it was when we got the 2515 and I sat on the back of the first time, I was like, what were they thinking? But I mean, the reality is where that tractor came from. People are a little bit smaller, and I mean, I found it difficult to climb on it, and I think that bracket's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, the seat's right up against the controls.
Here's a good question for you. Yes, you can turn that off, but not like easily. You have to disconnect the cables on the you can disconnect them under it, or you can disconnect the cables at the injector pump. And they're just basically, if you ever seen handlebars on a bicycle, you got the little cables in and out. They're very similar to that, like a throttle cable on a lawnmower. It's very similar to that. You can just loosen those the cable nuts up and slide them back. But if you want it to work again, you have to put them back in place and put them back in the right place. So it's not easy, but if you don't want auto throttle, you definitely can turn it off by doing that. But it's not something you can flip on and off real easy.
True. All right, let's give a hat away.
All right, let's do it. We are getting, wow, my goodness, we've been on an hour. It's unbelievable. It's past my bedtime. Look here, we got 54 entries now. That's a little bit better. So let me get over here and get us on live. Let me share the screen so you guys know I'm not cheating. I'm gonna win it. I'm gonna win this Joe the Hat.
Joe the Hat.
Joe the Hat. All right, so I got to go back here and push it.
Oh, hold on, let me put it in there too. Let's see if I could win it. That'd be fun.
I've seen Evan. He didn't put in like 3 times.
It saved me a little bit of shipping.
All right, here we go. I'm going to move my screen over here so I can see both things happening at the same time. And here we go. Draw. Wait, before we push this button, you better like make some rules. Like you're not shipping it to Australia because you're going to pay like $80 to ship. Just saying. You're going to ship it to Australia, somebody with it? Or is it stateside only?
Man, I feel bad though, because we've had a lot of support from Australia. So
yeah,
I mean, here's the thing. I
love my people from Australia.
I don't want to spend $1,000 to send a hat to somebody. So we'll work something out. Okay. So we'll get. You're gonna have to email me anyway, joe@joethefarmer.com, and then we'll figure something out. But I don't want to exclude anyone. So
all right, here we go. Ready? There's a lot of people in there. So we have to go through a bunch.
Yeah. And the winner is Tony. No.
There's Tony. There's Tony again.
Thomas Weisenreder
in here. Now we need you to come down in the comment section, Thomas, and
you got to claim your prize, or else we're doing it again.
Yeah, got to claim your prize and let them know that you're here and which one you want, because he got some hats he's giving away.
4 different ones.
I hope he's in there. Thomas, don't going once.
You can't congratulate Thomas yet because he's got to come in here and tell us that he's here.
Yeah, you got to still be here.
That is a rule. That is a rule. And I sure would like it if you subscribe to the channel before sending you a hat. But I mean, I'm not going to beg. It's okay.
Not much anyway, right?
Yeah.
All
listen,
right.
Maybe nag a little bit, but not beg.
There he is.
There he is. He got it. He got it. I was literally almost. Man, you almost missed it, buddy. I'm just saying, I was about there. Push that button again.
Thomas, let us know. What chat are you thinking about? You again, let's go through real quick. We're not going to make this super long. We have the hat I'm wearing, black hat, orange hat. So this is like, you could be a UT fan. You can pick up trash on the side of the road on the weekends, or you can go hunting with it too. Or we have the gray one with the stars and bars on it. So let us know. And I don't mind doing another one if you'd like to, but we can do that now, or we can do it whenever you're ready, Tony. You're the boss here.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I just work here. By the way, my paycheck did not show up this week.
Listen, it's in the mail, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. You want to do another one? Let's do it. Here we go.
Sure.
Let me
Again,
bring
these
it
are
back
Eagle Tree embroidery.
Eagle Tree embroidery. That'll be hilarious. Or Dalton. That'd be funny if he won it.
My buddy Spicer Designs is here. Been jealous of his excavator.
Oh, here we go. Slowing down. Oh, I can't win it. I can't win that. That's so funny.
Tony's Tractor Adventure. Yeah, this is
I literally I kept pushing it in there so that people would know what to write down, but I can't win it. So here we go. One more time. It was bound to happen. It'd be funny if Joe the farmer wins it. I thought I was going to win it again.
All right, Kent Construction.
Kent from Hope Construction LLC. So Kent, go ahead, and if I can find my mouse, we'll get back on the right screen here.
All right, Thomas wants the black one, so the black one's off the table. Actually, I've got more of them, so I could send a black one too.
Yep. All right. So Kent, better clock in here and tell us what you want. Let us know. And how do they get the hat again, Joe?
Email me at joe@joethefarmer.com and let me know your shipping information, and I'll ship it to you.
Kent Hope. I'm just itching to push that draw button again. We're going to give you the 803. There he is. There he is. He wins. Got it. Look at there. Got it.
Hey, Evan, can I borrow some money for shipping?
Yeah, no kidding. So I gave a hat away like I don't know, about 3 shows ago, and I was like, I went to drop it off the UPS store, and it was like $25. So I'm like, what? I'm just sending it down the street. Really, it's like not even a state away.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be cheap, but it's okay.
Once in a while.
So Kent, let us know which one you want, because I think people are going to be curious more than anything. But you still have to email me, let me know like your address and everything. I'll ship it out to you this week. But I see a lot of people in here support our channel. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
So if everybody's still here, we've got quite a few people still here. We got Joe the farmer on the right top, and let's see if we turn that off there. And then how do we get the name in the draw? I guess accidentally. You have to type in hashtag Joe the farmer for this one. Each week we try to give away something. Somebody gives away something. And but that was the 2 hats that are done now. So
next week I do know that Buck Bourbon is going to be giving some things away, as well as I think Domain has some giveaways, and that should be pretty nice ones too. It may just not be a hat where someone says, "Who's Joe the farmer?" It's like, asking God send me a hat. It's cool.
Right.
Stan Gaston keeps saying Country View Acres rules. What do you rule, Evan?
Exactly. I have
no Country View Acres.
Country View Acres.
That's right.
Yeah. So workshop, that's my space. That's where the house is Rebecca's. She rules the house.
I've picked your brain a lot on small animals, and you got me leaning towards I kind of had my heart set on goats. And now you got, the last two guys on here is like, don't do it. They're a lot of work. Don't do it. And pigs are easy. But I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge. And we can sit here all night and do this, and probably never run out of information that you've got, because I'd love to talk solar with you. I mean, we're playing with solar ourselves, and we are going to put solar on the cabin. And
I got someone putting in right now. It's been kind of slow moving, but yep.
The cost of electric wire is ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Copper's expensive.
Joe, what else you got? You got anything? Hey, listen, guys, we're rounding this out here pretty quick. Like if you've got a question for Evan, I'm going to do my best to get it up here for you. I'm making my screen big where I can see the comments a little better. And we're gonna give a few more minutes of. Here we go.
Kent's going with the stars and bars. So Kent's going with this one.
Kent's going with that.
All right. So some advice that I was going to ask you really about, and my wife was the one that really wanted me to ask you this question. It has to do with the orchard. So we have, I think it's 29 fruit trees, and similar to what you want to do with the animals, which at some point we're going to do the same thing, but we're in a window right now, a time where animals, we're just constantly running. Like you all that are watching, you guys, those of you that have raised your children, you know how it is. Like there's always something to do. It's just not fair to the animals right now. So we're trying to get fruit trees and some nut trees in the ground We did fruit trees about 4 years ago, and you know, I've seen you spray them. I've seen you fight to spray them. I've seen you say that you should spray them, and you don't spray them. And I just want to know if you had any advice on, you know, fruit trees or nut trees or things that you think a homestead really should have, especially if in the future you were to get a few pigs and, you know, they go under, you know, they go under the trees and they kind of feed on the mast and stuff like that. So, I mean, what, any input on that as the master homesteader?
I ain't no master homesteader, but apples are like hard, like peaches and stuff. They grow easy. Like you really don't have to do anything for peaches. You can have lots of peaches that look good. I mean, that goes the same for like plums and like cherries and different things. I mean, cherries, you got to beat the birds to them. Same with like blueberries and stuff like that. But apples are like the hard one. I mean, if you want them to look good, you got to spray, and you know, you're going to probably actually start spraying like when they're like bud stage. Like you can start spraying in February and put like a sulfur spray on them to try to kind of start out good and keep the blight away. And you really just kind of have to have some kind of a spraying regimen if you want them to look good. You know, none of ours were sprayed this year. They haven't been sprayed in several years, and they just don't look pretty, you know, they taste good, you know.
Are you pruning them too? Do you prune them back at like in the,
I typically prune every year. I did not prune this year. The first year I never pruned, and that was more to do with just never had the time, you know.
Yeah.
I would have pruned. I just didn't get around to it. And by the time that was already leafed out by then, you know. So and then we had a ton of fruit this year. But yeah, if you want them to like look good, you just have to do like a spraying regimen, and you got to do it like every few weeks. A lot of it can be based off of how much rain you get. You know, like if you don't have any rain, maybe you don't have to spray as often, but
I give up. I cut them. I'm cutting them now. Done.
Yeah. So, I mean, apples are the hard one, in my opinion. I mean,
we got too many cedar. We got cedar trees everywhere on my property and other people's property. So it seems like if you got cedar around, you're not going to have any apples worth anything unless you're willing to spend a ton of time and effort. And like you said, there's other trees you can grow that are so much easier.
Right.
So that's what I'm going
for. Right.
I'm going for easy.
There's easy buttons, and then there's the ones that are challenges. And now I have some apple trees that are like, what do you call them? They're like a blight resistant apple tree, and maybe they're not like the best tasting or the, like the ones you buy in the store, right? But they seem to do well.
They look good, but they taste like burnt tires.
Yeah, we got a Liberty tree, and it's like a blight resistant one, and to me, it's just a lot tartar. Maybe it's more of a pie apple, but it's just not. It's not like a gala apple. Yeah, you know, it's not sweet.
Yeah.
You had a quick question there from Ryan Thomas there.
Yeah, the hay cutter. So I have not done anything with that. I mean, that was just like a couple days ago. When I post a video, that was like yesterday. So
Evan, you keep saying you're not doing these things. You're full-time YouTuber, man. Like you keep saying you're not doing this stuff. What are you doing with your time?
Yeah. So typically, yeah. So somebody posted something in on the last video about maybe putting a piece of rubber like underneath, and I got to thinking, I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good idea. So I was looking at ordering maybe some pieces of rubber. Maybe I could just kind of put on the hay mower and it would be flexible and kind of move around, and I don't know. Anyway, it would help with the hay problem where it gets in places where it's not supposed to, you know?
Yeah.
So, but today I was doing the silage baling today. So, but yeah, usually if you see a video post, I just got done editing it, and then I'm back out in the field working.
Real life, huh? Real life. I love it.
Yeah. So that last video I posted when I was working on the mower, I'm trying to think. The day it posted, I was out cutting for silage right after it posted. And then today I'm baling it, and then probably tomorrow it'll post. So, it's pretty, I'm not ahead. I'm not like have a backlog of videos. It's just as soon as I get it done, it kind of comes out.
It's hard to sometimes you catch up. Guys, the hat giveaway is over. So just so you know, but appreciate you putting in Joe the Farmer though.
So before we kind of wrap things up, how's the transition been? Any regrets? Are you happy? Like everything doing okay?
So you got to understand that, and so I went from a full-time career, and I was doing YouTube, and I basically had 2 full-time incomes. So as soon as I quit my job and into this, it was like every day I was looking at the budget. I was looking at all my receipts. I'm like counting every penny, and
It's for real.
It's for real. Yeah. Like I need to, I got to make more than I spend, So before I had twice as much money. So then I was pretty free with what I could do, So yeah, that was probably a little bit worrisome at first, trying to make sure that I was posting enough videos to get enough, because I make money strictly off the ads. I don't really do paid promotions like a lot of YouTubers do. So I just strictly
Hey.
Well, I'm just saying. So I just want to make sure that I was getting enough content, out there. But I don't post fake content, right? Like I don't just post something to post something. I just want to post what we're doing. So it was a little worrisome, I think, at first, and it's taken me a couple months to kind of, like be reassured that yes, this is going to be fine. We're paying our bills. Everything's good. So, I think I'm easing into it. It was just a little stressful, I think, at the beginning, a little unsure of it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're running like ever at a short or ever run short of content, or do you feel like you could just be out there filming all day? It's the editing side that kind of slows you down.
What you just said right there. Like, I have not have a shortage of stuff that needs to be done. And especially on like nice days, like today was like 74 degrees outside. It's a beautiful day. And, like on a day like today, you're like, oh crap, I gotta go edit, like I gotta go. And it's like, you kind of dread, like, I want to be outside working on stuff. I want to get stuff done. So yeah, I mean, there's never a shortage right now of anything to do. I've got a list a mile long, but the trick is now that, like I said about the budget, and you're trying to like, you can't just go out and just do anything, right? It's not like you have unlimited funds. So you're trying to do things a little bit differently, a little more efficiently, cost effective, but there's always plenty to do.
Yeah. Do you think there's ever going to be a way like will an editor come to the picture for you at some point so you can put more content out, or do you think that, or do you really like
how I could pay myself and pay an editor, off of the ad revenue? I don't think I could do that. And then the other part of that is like, you would give up your creativity in a way, right? I mean, like being able to edit the video and have it flow the way you want to. There's I dread having to sit down and edit, but when I sit down and edit, I can be there for hours because, I do like the finished product when I'm done. I'm happy with the results, and that's
obviously you're doing something right.
So
yeah, you're doing something right for sure. I tried an editor for a little while, and just, like you said, the guy was good. He was talented, but at the end of the day, it just lost something. So we went back to doing our own. And, like I said, I felt bad for the guy because he worked with us for almost a year. And like I said, he was just super talented. It's like if I could have edited the video and then gave it to him to tweak it, that would have been, the optimal thing. But if I'm going to spend the time to do it, I'm not going to pay somebody else just to tweak it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like actually somebody just moving cameras around would be just as helpful too as an editor.
Well, I have that. I do have that.
Well, you do.
Yeah, I get Rebecca out there to help me. She'll do some filming and stuff, and that speeds it up because you guys know, as creators, you move cameras every few minutes, so you're stopping what you're doing. You move the camera.
There's days
because you got to keep it visually interesting. You got to have different angles, and you got to keep people watching if you want to keep people interested, right? I mean,
well, if I do a video on a side by side, it's amazing to think about how, like, when you watch, because I've done a lot of I love side by sides. I just love machines, and if I'm driving through a field and like you see all the different angles, I've stopped that side by side probably 15 times to move the camera, get this going, that going, like put it here, put it there, put it under it. Like it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I mean, I enjoy it. It's just, and that it's just challenging yourself to like, all right, what can I show that now that no one's ever seen before on a machine working, driving through a hayfield, it's
yeah, come up with a new interesting angle. But yeah, when you have like Tony's got Tanya, I got Rebecca to be able to help, it does speed up a project.
Sometimes there's just no other way of doing it.
You can keep flowing and get stuff done a lot quicker. So that is very beneficial. So,
well, guys, I don't want to cut off because we've got 381 people here, but this boy's got to get up and go to the gym. In the morning. Yeah, at 5 a.m.
You want to show us?
What's that?
Gun show?
The gun show?
Yeah.
Look at that, man.
Look at the gun show, man. Look at that. Oh.
Man's 55 years young, stronger as ever been.
Yeah.
Love it.
I heard a statistic the other day, and it made me proud. It says if you can bench press your own weight, you're within like the top 5% of men in the world.
That's sad.
And yeah, and so only 5% of the men in the world can bench press their own weight. A lot of people can do it though, and I think they don't realize they can do it. But
if I said
when I get there, I'll let you know.
If I didn't do weight training, I don't know how I do half the stuff I do. And so
I'm telling you, the whole reason I started weight training was not for vanity. It was I kept hurting myself on the sawmill because that sawmill.
It's not the thing you want to hurt yourself on, by the way.
Well, I mean, like turning a log over. We got that new sawmill, and before it got hydraulics on it, that was. You put a 3,500 pound log up there or 3,000 pound log on that thing and then try to turn it over by hand with a cant hook. It's virtually impossible. So you have to get the tractor and use the tractor to turn it over. And then when you get down to a manageable size, you're still turning over 1,000 pound cant sometimes. And I would, I don't work on a sawmill every day. It's like I might go out and work 4 or 5 days in a row, and then I might not touch it again for a month. And then doing it that way, I can't build up any kind of endurance. So I decided to, I was already going on this health kick of eating better and losing weight, and I was doing really well with that. But I decided to go to the gym, and people at the gym make fun of me and look at me crazy because I don't work out traditionally. I do like crazy things with the cable machines. Well, they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm pulling a chainsaw. I'm starting a chainsaw, man." I'm doing this over there, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Because you hurt, just little things like that, or lift up one side of the barbell just because that's kind of like picking a can hook up. But
yeah.
Well,
Evan, man, it's been a pleasure having you, my friend.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me come on.
I got to brag on my boy there, CJ there from Mallard 5+1 Farmhouse. I seen him at the equipment our farm senior show. I guess it was last year, and that dude is a monster. He is. I mean, he just eats like steak from the time he wakes up in the morning to the time he goes to bed. He's just a monster, dude. Love it.
That's awesome. So we've got some fun shows coming up. If you guys would love to come back, we'd love to have you back 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every Tuesday night. We have a couple, we're going to do like a couple weeks of Gamekeeper stuff, which should be a lot of fun.
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, because
I am too. It's different, and you all, if you have questions out there, you can email them to me. You can email them to Tony. My email is joe@joethefarmer.com. Tony, yours is Tony at Tony's Tractor.
Tony's Tractor Adventure at outlook.com.
Okay.
The easiest way to hit me up is just go to Tony's TractorAdventure.com, hit the contact page. You don't have to remember my long email address.
Yeah, mine's just joe@joethefarmer.com. Easy to remember. And let us know any kind of questions that you want to have about so Georgia's going to be about any kind of misconceived or perceived things about whitetails and stuff like all these old wives' tales that people tell you, and then because he'll dispel some of that because he's been doing that his whole life, and then with Domain with Mike, if you guys have any questions about hey, I've got a rocky field and the pH is 5.0 and I can't seem to grow anything, what do you suggest? I mean, this is going to be the time for us to get some really great advice from 2 experts who Mike, I don't know Mike as well as I know George. I can tell you right now, George is the president of George's fan club, but he's also earned it. Dude is very, very smart when it comes to this stuff. So he's who I call when I have questions about hey, I've tried to pattern this deer, or where would you put a stand? Those, he's just super helpful. And Evan, you want to come on and co-host with us with George? George is an interesting cat.
I'd say that's more up your alley with the deer hunting. We don't do much hunting anymore.
I don't hunt, man. I've never done it before. It sounds
Are you sure?
never mind. Yeah, I do enjoy being in the outdoors. Like you said, man, it's 74 degrees.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day today.
It's starting to get to be where we love being outside. But Evan, anything you want to add? There's a lot of people here that really enjoy your channel. Anything you want to say to them?
No. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate everybody coming on to the live stream, and I've tried to read most of your comments. I can't really type back to them or answer them all, but do appreciate everybody participating in the live stream and watching.
We've never had that many in a live stream before, and literally my eyes are tired from going. It's just like fanning up the screen. I'm like, my goodness, guys, I appreciate you. Joe, you got anything left?
No, we're grateful that people keep showing up every Tuesday. We'll keep doing this every Tuesday night until people stop showing up.
And we've got some good shows coming up, some good people coming up. I'm really looking forward to deer hunting stuff, because I'm a big deer hunter, and I'm not too old to learn. And what's the guy that's coming on that knows everything about whitetails?
So that's George, and I want to make something pretty clear too. If you don't like deer hunting, like, this is not going to be a big, like, it's not going to be a big pound your chest, like, we're going to shoot every deer in the neighborhood conversation. I think it's going to be more of, if you enjoy whitetail deer and you like to see them do well, getting close to them is one thing. Like, if you can get close to them, that means you're a pretty good hunter. Like, hunting deer a lot of times means deer watching. So we joke about deer viewing lanes and deer watching lanes. I think that just learning more about the animal is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, George knows everything there is to know. So if you want to become a better deer hunter, or just see more deer, or bring more deer onto your property, or you have questions about what stuff like that, yeah, he knows it all, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think we're losing Evan. He's about to go to sleep. You've been working outside all day, ain't you? Look at he's got to go edit out on us.
He's got to go edit. He's got to sign autographs. I mean, Evan's got a lot to do.
Love it, guys. Evan, I really appreciate it. Evan, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's an honor. It's our honor. Honestly, it is. It's our honor to have you on. You're a great guest and so knowledgeable. And I'm going to call you tomorrow and talk to you about pigs for like a couple hours.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
No, I'm not threatening you, man. I promise you I won't do that. But anyway, listen, I'm about done with this. Anybody else? Last one. Too late. I'm pushing it. End of stream, but
thank y'all so much.
Love y'all. God bless.
Thanks, everyone.
God bless.